And it's the little things that bring us forward during the pandemic, I think. It's the little Nandos that bring us forward.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the world's greatest parenting podcast. This is Overly Honest Dads. My name's Matt. I am the master of ceremonies for this here show, and I'm joined, inevitably, by two reprobates called Magnus.
Hi, guys.
And John.
Hello.
Are we doing well, everybody?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, straightforward show for you lovely people today. We're going to start off with dad news. After that, we've got the first ever segment of our Overly Honest Book Review. Or should we call it Overly Honest Book Club? Should we call it Overly Honest Book Club?
Yeah, let's call it the
Book
Overly
Club,
Honest
yeah,
Book Club.
that's fine.
Did I say book plug?
It does sound like that.
It sounds like Butt Club.
When you first said
Club.
it, I became very interested.
Book Club. Where we're going to review kids' books, because I'm sure we've all had experience of reading lots and lots of kids' books, and we're going to review some of those. So it's just like a variation on the whole product review thing we normally do. Then World of Parenting, where we give you some parenting stories from around the world, and then we wrap up with Am I Being Unreasonable? And so straight into dad news, and John is going first.
Oh, thank you, Matt. So, dad news this week. I basically am very, very tired. I've not been able to spend a lot of time with the kids, but I have decided to teach them something new. And I ordered a chessboard. And I wanted to teach my youngest how to play chess because he loves maths. He doesn't fucking like chess, the bastard. He ended up turning me down and goes, "No, Dad, this is boring." Surprisingly enough, my daughter loves chess and we play chess every day now. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of building her brain on strategy, and it's amazing. It really is amazing. And she's just been picking it up, and she remembers the moves. She's put me in check a couple of times now as well. Shows how shit I am. But it's just been pretty impressive. I mean, it's been really, really impressive just been seeing her develop that skill, because it is a difficult game. It's not an easy game to learn. And she's really picked up the skill. She's picked up the moves. She knows what to do. She knows how to attack and how to protect. It's pretty impressive. So quite proud of my child. And then the other side of dad news is that the school that they go to, 3 classes have gone into quarantine because there's been cases. And that's been a bit of a worry. And to be honest, we took them this morning because they were ill yesterday and the day before with colds. And the school's empty. Like, no one's taking their kids to school. It's insane. It's like the last week before Christmas and no one's taking them. And I think there's just a constant fear for your kids that if they catch corona and whatnot. And that was a bit of a worry, but ours are fine. And next week we're all going to be home and, enjoying the time together, and then off we go in our little bubble.
Do you have a sense of why people are worried about their kids getting corona? Because unless I've missed something, they're still at minimal risk, aren't they? Or is it more of a worry about infecting like people at Christmas and stuff?
I think it's the infecting people at Christmas, because obviously with the Christmas bubble that we have in the UK, and this is for our American listeners, in the UK we are allowed to meet with another 2 households for a period of 5 days during Christmas, so that families can get together at Christmas. And the reality is that people are getting paranoid. What if the kids catch it? What if they, we want to meet with granddad and grandma, and you can kill your grandparents basically with corona is the reality. So a lot of people are just doing this. They're just not sending their kids to school anymore, which is, I mean, it was shocking this morning how empty the school was. It really was. It was just empty. So, but yeah, so that's my dad news, Matt.
Brilliant. Thank you, John. Magnus.
Well, I have some dad news for you guys, which is actual literal dad news.
Yeah.
I handed in my notice as I've been offered a new job.
Hey.
Which I'm thoroughly excited for. Thank you
very much. Is this a permanent job or another contract?
It's another contract.
Oh, right, okay.
Cool.
I won't go into specifics, but it's quite an upgrade, seemingly so. And it's a contract to perm. So,
Brilliant.
Yeah, with a hell of a lot of what I would like in terms of my own development.
Good.
We'll see, because it does seem pretty damn good.
Are you scared that it's going to be better than not as good as you think it is, or you're
Yeah,
Is that what it is? You're scared, ain't
For
you?
sure, for sure. I am somewhat apprehensive as to whether or not it will be as good as I think it is. But I need to take risks, and I guess for a lot of dads out there, when you have kids or when you're planning to have kids, taking risks goes out the window temporarily. And so I've been on the straight and narrow, or on let's say the railway lines, not going off in any other direction but forward, in a very comfortable manner for the past 3 years. And I would say that my career has taken a bit of a hit with it. We've had the comfort of income and knowing that we're going to get paid, and we don't need to worry financially. But in terms of progression, there hasn't really been any.
Yeah.
That was the sacrifice. And so now I've decided to do so. And it comes at an absolutely awful time during a pandemic, and Brexit is looming in 2 weeks. No deal Brexit. But once again, that there was a lot of thought that went into it, and I decided to just go for it.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, but as a dad, I need my hobby, and my hobby is work. And work needs to be interesting, because if it's not interesting, I'm killing myself going to work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, work has always been kind of a center point of, it needs to be interesting. I need to be learning, because if I'm not learning, I'm going to be bored as shit from 9 to 5 or longer than that. So for me, that development piece, I don't know how you did it for as long as you did, where you just did the same thing constantly, because that just would kill me. I mean, me and Matt worked together at the same company for 10 years, and we were doing the same job for 10 years. And that was mind numbing. It really was. And you need, when you're a dad in particular, you got all your responsibility at home and for me, it's actually a getaway to go to work, because I get to spend time focusing and learning on something new, which is pretty cool.
There's also kind of like this will probably sound fairly old fashioned, but I think there's a grain of truth in it, that when you are the main earner in a family, which we all are here, then being able to have pride in your achievements at work and demonstrate to your family that you're working hard to benefit them, there's a you get a sense of pride or usefulness, utility from that. And putting food on the table is one thing, but being on an upward trajectory is another thing entirely, and it can help very much with self-esteem and also the respect that your family has for you.
Yeah,
big time.
It's absolutely spot on. And the way that I was able to fight the boredom was, over those 3 years, I asked for a little bit more money each time with the more experience that I had. That was kind of it. But the general tasks and responsibilities I had were pretty much the same, just across different clients. And that's one of the benefits of being a contractor, in that you do get to work across different clients across the country. It's kind of fun. But the tasks and responsibilities and who I was pretty much typecast. You can't go beyond that. That's the fact of the matter. And going permanent, that's the best way to change that. So I'm not particularly ready to go permanent just yet. I'm still a contractor at heart, but I have the option to, and it's now a serious consideration for next year. So that's my dad news personally. In terms of Quinn, lots has happened. She's aged 1 week.
Great. Wonderful. Shocking.
That's shocking. I didn't expect that.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. She's been eating and breathing very consistently too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, lots
that's quite an achievement, mate. Breathing in particular, it's,
Yeah, we were worried for a moment there, but no. She was okay. So that's my dad news.
Awesome. What about you,
Over
Matt?
to you, Matt.
Oh, you both handed over there. Wow, I don't know what to do with that.
How brilliant is that?
Was that your Christmas present to me?
Yes, it was.
Thank you. That's very kind. As people might be able to tell, I'm tired. It's been I've moaned about work a lot on this, and I'm not going to keep on moaning about how busy it is. But the end is in sight. We'll finish on Friday, and then I have over 2 weeks off, which I'm very excited about. And Emily's nursery is open on Monday through Wednesday next week. We go up to Nottingham to see my family on Wednesday. So for those 3 days, Emily's going to go to nursery, and Alex and I are going to take a nice well-deserved break during the days. We're going to
Good.
watch films on the sofa. We're going to order Nando's. You know what? So we London's now in tier 3. So for listeners elsewhere in the world, we have a tiered system of coronavirus restrictions, and London is now in the highest level, which means no restaurants, with the exception of takeaways, and no pubs and that kind of thing. Now, Nando's is a very popular chain of spicy chicken restaurants here in the UK. Our usual Nando's doesn't deliver to us normally. It only delivers in a 1 mile radius of the restaurant. We're 1.1 miles away from the Nando's. But when it closes its doors to guests, then they expand the radius to 2 miles, and we can order Nando's. And so today, I was refreshing Deliveroo constantly until it appeared back on there. And so I had Nando's for my food today, and we're going to order Nando's again next week, and I'm very happy about this. This is
the month
it's
is
the little
saved.
Yes.
It is the little things, you know.
It's
It's
the little
worth
things.
the bumhole itch. Yeah, no, I love Nando. I love that place. I love Nando's.
Think
It's
about
fantastic.
the first lockdown when McDonald's was closed for ages.
Yeah.
That killed me, man. The fact that it was literally everything was closed. You can order in anything. Oh man, that destroyed me. It really did. And it's the little things that bring us forward during the pandemic. I think it's the little Nando's that bring us forward.
Oh, and also Emily bit someone at nursery today.
Oh,
Really?
bloody hell.
Apparently, like everyone was going outside for some reason. They were going to play outside, and someone was blocking the door, and they wouldn't move out of the way. And so Emily, not knowing any other way to communicate that she wanted to get out with everyone else, she just bit their hand that was holding the door.
Nice. It's the way
Apparently, they weren't stressed out by it though. They essentially just said that at this age, like when they want to do something, they don't always have a good way of communicating it or know how to deal with it. And so, as long as it's not, aggressive and vindictive, then they can just keep an eye on it and manage it. So yeah. But hopefully, she doesn't go around biting more people.
Nah, kids are kids.
That's fine. You just got to be wary about this. As long as she's not doing anything like waterboarding, then you're fine.
Yeah, I don't think there's any risk of torture at the moment, but we will see. So that's Dad News. We are going to take our customary brief break, and when we return, it's the inaugural Overly Honest Book Club. We'll see you for that in just a moment. Welcome back to this 33rd episode of Overly Honest Dads. Is it 33, Magnus?
It is indeed.
33. Well done, us. And this is the inaugural episode of the Overly Honest Book Club, a variation on our standard product review section. Now, I'm not sure about anyone else out there in podcast land, but I am a naturally bookish individual. I've always been a big reader, and it's natural for me as a result to force books on my child. And so we have lots of books around, and I'm sure that Magnus and John have the same experience. And so rather than sort of go through random parenting products, I figure we can also review books, and maybe at some point we can look at reviewing TV shows and that kind of stuff as well. And so this is the inaugural book club, and today I'm going to be reviewing a kid's book called 10 Little Dinosaurs, which is by Mike Brownlow and Simon Rickety. Now, 10 Little Dinosaurs is a book that essentially is a rhyme. It's a poem about 10 little dinosaurs who hatch from their eggs and then lose their mama and go on all sorts of adventures before reuniting with their mama at the end, which is, a tragic tale with a
Is it
happy
a pop-up book?
No, it's not a pop-up book. It's just standard pictures.
Shit, then.
I bought this from Amazon. I bought it about a year ago, and it cost 7 whole British pounds.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to read a quick excerpt. That right? Yeah, from the book, just to give you a taste of what you can expect from the book. So it starts as follows. Bear in mind, I've read this probably 100 times at this point. 10 little,
As you do.
Yeah, so to take it away, 10 little dinosaurs hatching from their eggs, blinking in the sunshine, stretching out their legs. Look, our mama's sleeping, let's go and explore. 10 little dinosaurs all say, roar! Sorry, I clipped there, Magnus.
So predictable.
Yeah.
So predictable.
And then, to give you an example, so 10 little dinosaurs walking in a line, stomp goes Diplodocus, now there are 9. 9 little dinosaurs think the world smells great, slurp goes a hungry plant, Now there are
8.
8.
Wait, hang on. Are they getting killed?
Well, it kind of suggests that they are
Yeah.
getting caught.
They're getting whacked.
Because like, it sounds like one gets caught by a T-Rex, one gets caught by a pterosaur, one gets caught by some bubbling springs, and the Triceratops comes into things. There is a plesiosaur. There is a stegosaurus or a stegi.
Steggy.
There is a volcano, and then there's a scary dinosaur at the end, but it just turns out to be the mother dinosaur. Yeah, and so I'm here to tell you this is a great children's book. Now, one thing I really like about kids' books is when they rhyme. And so there's a natural sort of fast-paced rhythm, because I find that makes it easier to keep the kids' attention.
Yeah.
If it's something that's slow and plodding and prose-based, then I think it can be easy for people to lose attention. Whereas with a fast-paced rhyme, it keeps their attention, and it also keeps you entertained as an individual, because it's just kind of fun to read a poem fast. Now, although this is an audio podcast, I think the visual style is also worth drawing attention to. I'm going to just highlight it to my podcast pals here, but you can see it's kind of almost like designed on a computer rather than drawn manually.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's like a very vivid, modern art style.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I really like it. Like, it jumps off the page. It's full of bright colours. There's lots of little details, like all the little dinosaurs. You can kind of follow their little tracks and what they get up to, and there's little stories within the story, little visual stories for you to follow. And the colours really pop off the page. Really, really.
Is that a weed leaf?
No, it's not.
All right. It does look like it, doesn't it?
It's supposed to be a palm tree.
Yeah.
This is
The
Matt's.
dinosaurs on ganja.
It's Matt's hip hop dinosaur book where they get murked.
Yeah, exactly.
Ganja leaves,
Getting whacked, smoking ganja. That's what you teach your kids. Well done.
And it does have one of my favorite line is that 3 little dinosaurs trying to dodge the poo. Swish goes the Steggy's tail. Now there are 2.
Oh wow! He got ploughed by a turd. That's amazing.
And on the next page,
The Terminator.
it does have poo on its head.
Oh god!
So it's got this sort of like silly childishness about it as well.
Okay.
That's very good though.
That I find really fun. So I'm gonna give this a rating out of 10. I'm gonna give this 9 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I think it's
That's
really
a big
fun.
exaggeration.
What?
That's exaggeration, mate. That seems a bit too much.
No, I really like it, and you know, it's,
I think it looks good.
you know, when you've read a book so many times that you can pretty much recite it, and if you're still finding it enjoyable and you still want to say nice things about it after it's been drilled into the ground a million times, then I think that is indicative of a successful book.
Yeah.
There are others in the series as well, although I can't say we've sampled them. On the back it mentions 10 little pirates, there's 10 little princesses, and 10 little monsters.
And they all die, basically. That's the idea of the books.
They're all happy at the
They
end.
get shat on, they die, all
Right,
sorts.
let me just prove this to you. Safe at home with Mama, who could ask for more? 10 little dinosaurs all say.
Roar!
I'm not going to do it because I'll clip again. I love just going really all out when it comes to the raw part, so I say it as loud as I can and keep it going for as long as I can.
And that's awesome.
And that Amelie will always find that amusing. I mean, it's fair, you mean like low standards for humor for a 2-year-old, but still, like.
But that's the best thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Does Emily reciprocate?
Oh, yeah, she starts to do raw noises as well now, but that could, she also already does those for like lions and tigers and stuff when that comes up. So her raw is good. But yeah,
That's so sweet.
10 Little Dinosaurs. If you've got a kid aged between, I'd say 1 and 3 or 4, buy that book or gift it to someone who does. You will not regret it. That is. Any questions from you guys before we move on?
No, not at all. Quite interesting. We need to review shit children's book. That's what I want. I want to find a shit children's book and then
we got
rip
some
it
of
apart.
those. We've got some of those. Yeah.
We need to be doing that.
Yeah. Cool. So that was Overly Honest Book Club. Thank
Butt
you.
plug.
Thank you for that, me. And so we'll take another brief break, and when we return, it's time for World of Parenting. Welcome back to Overly Honest Dads, and it's time for World of Parenting. For any new listeners out there, World of Parenting is where we give you 2 news stories that are parenting related from around the world. Our boffin, Magnus, will give us a science story. And John, who, let's face it, is a more light-hearted individual overall, will give us a slightly more light-hearted story. And I'm going to shut up for the most part, which is good news for everyone. So Magnus, please take the floor.
Thank you, Matt. If you're someone who's born in December, you're likely to be a bit pissed that you're not getting double presents, as any birthday celebrations that you may have are likely to be overshadowed by Christmas. That being said, it's not all bad news. According to a study published in the Journal of Aging Research, December babies are nicer people and live longer than everyone else, which is interesting. Now, the study looked at, wait for it, John, 1,574 validated centenarians, and these are people living to the age of 100 and over, born in the US between 1880 and 1895, so quite some time ago. And the study went on to say that the research suggests that the December-born have a significantly higher risk of surviving up to the age of 105 plus compared to June-born or summer babies. Okay. Now, guys, compounding this, another study conducted by researchers at Columbia University Department of Medicine of, wait for it again, John, 1,749,400
there you go. Good data.
people.
Good data.
Good data. From the United States found that December babies also have lower risk of cardiovascular disease. Okay. Now, there is more research on this. It was found that Christmas babies are actually nicer to be around than those born in other months. They have fewer mood swings and they complain less. Finally, those with December birthdays are apparently natural-born athletes. So I went down a real rabbit hole with this, and it seemed that the benefits of being a December baby were endless, so much so that it really pissed me off. December baby, more likely to be successful at everything, a genetic propensity for luck, big dick, among other things.
What?
So, yeah.
What? Hold on, big dick because you're born in December?
No, I made that up. No, that's not actually in the study. That would have been quite...
It's Christmas, you get a big dick. Like...
but yeah, in summary, fuck December babies, man. It's not fair.
That seems real data. I mean, with that many subjects, that seems real data, to be fair.
Yeah,
so,
there is a lot of benefits. There is a lot of research that went into this, covering a lot of people. So yeah, if you're a December baby, lucky you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Magnus. John, what have you got to say?
Oh, this brilliant story, which got me angry immediately, and then as you read the story, you tend to understand. So the title of the story is "People Are Divided Over This Story of a Mum Tattooing One of Her Twins to Tell Them Apart." So that already just pissed me off. Reading that, I'm just like, why the fuck would you tattoo a baby, you stupid twat? I mean, what the hell? Anyway, reading the story really helped because it gives you an idea on why. So a mother of twin boys has come under fire for tattooing one of the pair in order to tell them apart. Writing on the Reddit forum, Am I an Arsehole?, the anonymous woman discussed her unique situation in a post titled AITA for medically tattooing my child under the recommendation of a doctor. So she explained that after 5 years of trying to have a baby, she and her husband had a baby conceived through IVF, and she ended up having twins. After giving birth to the twin boys, the couple found out that one of the twins had a medical condition that required him to have an injection every month. Although the twins, who she calls Jack and Adam, aren't identical, the woman says they look saying, my husband and I, they look the same, and her and her husband can't tell them apart. So the doctor suggested that she would give one of the baby a medical tattoo. What do you guys think of that? Because when I read the title, it pissed me off. but then you see the reason,
Yeah,
and you just want to make sure you're injecting the right baby, not injecting the wrong baby. I mean, you should be able to tell your fucking kids apart, shouldn't you? I mean, that's common. I don't know. That's how I feel.
I've always found this a bit weird as well. Like, even when it comes to twins, some people can't tell their twins apart. And there are subtle differences that I think you can pick up quite easily, especially if you've been around them for some time. But I don't know, Matt, you're going to say something.
I wonder how many pairs of twins have been actually mixed up at various points. Like, there must be some twins who were named like Craig and the other one Dean, and at some point they switched roles but never knew it. That must have happened quite a few times in history.
I imagine there's a bunch of twins out there that share house keys and go and fuck each other's wives. God knows.
Yeah, I was going to say that share partners. Yeah,
I remember a Family Guy episode of that. Just like, oh, you're my twin. Switch keys, fuck each other's wives. Yeah, okay. Seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, do you know what? Like, I think it's actually a good idea. If you can't tell them apart, it's a medical emergency.
But you should be able to tell them apart, man. I mean, they're your kids.
No, but if you can't, we are given the tools to be able to identify people from billions of others. But like, it doesn't always work, and some people aren't that great at it. So maybe they're just, they just can't. So I think it's not bad. How old are the twins? And do we have a picture of the tattoo?
No, you got a picture of the twins.
Okay, yeah.
And then
there's just normal
picture
infants.
of the tattoo, and
they look really similar.
Yeah,
they look like dolls, man.
So yeah, I don't know. I still feel a bit weird about tattooing a child. Seems a bit weird because you can't tell them apart. I don't know.
Well, yeah, like in any other circumstance, is a bit weird, and like it's going to hurt the kid.
Yeah. So.
But what is a tattoo? It's not going to be like a big whale tail on their back.
No. It's a skull with flames coming out of it on the chest of the baby. That's literally what they're doing. Now, medical tattoos are very small, and I can't remember where they put them, but I think they either put them just under the armpit, if I'm not mistaken, or on the inside of the leg. So.
Okay.
Which, to be honest, are sensitive areas as fuck. If anyone's ever had tattoos, there's sensitive areas to have tattoos in, man. It's not fun. Not fun. So that's my news story, Matt. There you go.
Thank you, John and Magnus, for taking us on that tour of the world of parenting. So we have one last section to go through. That is, am I being unreasonable? But before we subject you to that, we're going to treat you to a quick break. So we'll see you in just a few moments. Welcome back to this final segment of the 33rd episode of Overly Honest Dads, and it's time for Am I Being Unreasonable? Am I Being Unreasonable is a board on Mumsnet where people post up their problems, we read them out, and we give our verdict. So I've got about 5 selected to run through today, and the first one is from a poster called Milano.
Hey.
Milano.
Yes, and the subject line is, Dear husband regularly tells me to shut up when I baby talk to our son. The post reads as follows. Just that, really. Am I being overly insensitive when husband mutters or says shut up when I'm baby talking to our 5-month-old son? I realise it's probably quite insane to listen to because I use a baby voice when undressing him for bath and say, it's bare butt time, it's bare butt time. And my son is pissing himself laughing. But I heard my husband say shut up, and I said, I hear that from you a lot. It's so upsetting. I'm sat sulking now. I'm being pathetic, right? No.
No, you're not.
Listeners,
he's
she
a
is
bit of
not
a
being
dick.
pathetic.
No, she's not being unreasonable. He's a dick.
Is that abuse?
Yeah,
It's
that's
probably emotional abuse to an extent.
Yeah.
Or like
really
a contributing factor to a overall picture, potentially.
What a dick. What a dick, man.
I often pick these stories because I think there's the risk sometimes that we might be accused just laughing at people on Mumsnet, but there's enough posts on here where people are clearly with partners who are unsuited to their roles as fathers in lots of ways.
Abusive.
Yeah,
as well.
And I think as men, it's helpful for us to remind ourselves of what bad behaviour looks like and make sure we check ourselves and don't do that behaviour ourselves.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's the idea.
You did have to go there.
Yes, I did, baby.
So this next one is one where I'm more looking for you guys to give suggestions to the poster. Not that they're ever going to listen to this, but I think it might be fun. So the poster, the user is called Cut to Chase, and the subject line is, what can I buy a man for £20? The post reads, 30, hipstery type, vegan, arty, £20 budget. What are you buying your millennial men? I need some inspiration. Is it me, or are gifts for men harder on a budget? I can think of loads of small things I would buy a woman, but with men, my mind gets stuck on books. What suggestions do you guys have for what people can buy their men this Christmas for £20?
Pornhub subscription.
I don't think that's a helpful suggestion.
No, I'm joking. To be honest, it is difficult. My wife struggles with me as well because I don't need anything. Like when I need something, I'll buy it, and yeah, it's difficult. I agree. It's difficult to buy for men.
I'm exactly the same as John.
Oh, mate,
Exactly
I don't know.
But I just tell her what I want for Christmas, and then she'll buy it. But for under 20 quid, there's not much. Like,
he's vegan as well. Jeez, where are you going to buy him?
Yeah, mushrooms. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's it. Just ask him. Like,
this
what
is
does
such
he
a
want?
typical reaction because I struggle to tell people what I want for Christmas. Anything that I particularly want, I've probably already bought for myself. Not that I buy much for myself these days because I kind of got most things I want. That's half the problem. Like when you get into your 30s and you've been earning for a few years,
you've taken the vice out. You bought every vice that you wanted, anything that you wanted, you bought, and then you get to that age where you don't need anything. I mean, occasionally I buy a bottle of whiskey, but she wouldn't know what to buy if I said whiskey. So yeah, it's difficult. I don't know.
I thought we might help solve a problem there, but we've just demonstrated why it's a problem more than anything else. Okay, fair enough. So the next one is from a poster called Harmony 195. And the thread subject is, am I being unreasonable to ask my husband to leave me to sleep? Currently very pregnant, so probably hormonal. But my husband works shifts, a mix of earlies, lates and nights. More nights than anything. I work in an office role, currently working from home. When my husband is on nights, he is normally home by 5 a.m. and in bed when I get up at 7 a.m. I set my alarm on my watch, sneak out, and he rarely even stirs when I get up. Likewise, if he's on late, I let him sleep in, get up quietly, get the child up for school, and he rarely hears us go. When husband is on earlies, when dear husband is on earliest, as he is this week, he has to be up at 5:30. He sets his alarm loudly on his phone. Lies in bed for 20 minutes and then tries to wake me up and ask questions about where stuff is. That's such a man thing to do.
Brilliant.
Yeah, always like, where's this thing that I should really know where it is, but I've lost track of it.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with exhaustion at the moment, working full-time in a full-on job, being heavily pregnant, and doing the majority of the day-to-day housework as I'm at home. My iron levels are also being investigated as they are really low. He says I should be awake by 5:30 anyway, as I go to bed at 9:30. But after he wakes me up, I struggle to get back to sleep, so that's why I'm in bed at 9:30. I asked him this morning not to wake me, and he moaned that it's the only time he gets to talk to me without the kid around. Am I being unreasonable to ask him to let me sleep?
I don't think she is.
What is she doing, man? Leave her alone. She's heavily pregnant, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Working a full-time job and doing all the housework and childcare.
There's so many dickhead men out there, man.
What the fuck, man? Jesus Christ. He should know this. He's already got a kid with her.
Yeah, and 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you've got a kid, 5:30 is still early in my books. Like, it used to be that I'd see 6:30 as early. I don't anymore, but 5:30 is early.
Yeah, 5:30 is my time. Is when I get up. I wouldn't expect my family to get up at that time.
Well, that's because you have your fitness regime, isn't it? It doesn't sound like this guy is wearing a oxygen mask whilst he, wearing a sweatsuit on a treadmill at 6 a.m. like you.
Yeah.
So John, you wake up at 5:30. Matt, what time do you wake up?
Between 4:30 is when the first alarm rings, and then I kind of lie in bed. Actually, I go downstairs, I lie on the sofa, and then the second one rings at 5:10.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm usually between
Matt,
6 and 7.
Damn.
On Emily.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wake up maybe a few minutes before 9.
Jeez, man, what the fuck?
How do you get away with that?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Like, it depends. Like, sometimes I'll wake up at 8 o'clock. I used to wake up a lot earlier, but no, I used to wake up a lot earlier, but now I've been waking up later and later to the point where.
How do you get away with that?
Well,
yeah, how do you get away with work and stuff? I mean, how the hell do you get away with that? Jeez, man.
Well, I'm still present at 9.
Yeah, I know, but how do you? I mean, I'll panic if I'm not been online for
Oh.
an hour before, and
No, you guys have seen how late I work. Like
that's a good point.
I work until the small hours.
Okay, so the next poster is from a poster called Romana, and the subject
dear.
line is: "Am I being unreasonable to ask my partner, to wake up before 9 a.m.?"
Brilliant. Oh, you should have kept it going. You should have kept it going, Matt. That was brilliant. He was listening as well. You should have kept it going. Jesus, that was brilliant.
Oh goodness me!
Oh,
Yeah, that's exactly
that's
what
good,
she
Matt.
would say. She does get pissed off at me for staying in bed too late.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Like, if I'm in
yeah.
bed till 7, I get yelled at.
Oh,
Or not
really?
yelled at, but I get like I get a warning.
I get a water, bloody hell. Get a yellow card.
And then she gets the water spray out. Yeah, no, I will. Yeah.
All right, well,
So,
fair enough. I thought you were completely whipped, but clearly not entirely. So the next post.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Bloody hell.
You're welcome. So the next poster is called Cats and Kittens 638297. I don't know what those numbers are for.
Fucking hell, yeah.
The subject line is: "Am I?" This doesn't really make sense. That he shouldn't tell dear son to stop playing with dolls. That's the subject line. Bit of backstory: my mum has been with my stepdad for about 11 years. We've not had a great relationship. He's very controlling and just not very nice. They have 2 sons under 10. He tells them they're not allowed to do art because art is for girls. They're not allowed to like girly things. He's very much conditioned them into keeping boys' things for boys and girls to girls. However, I have a 3-year-old son and a 1-year-old daughter. The other day we went to Asda and my daughter picked out a baby doll from the shop and my son a PJ Masks toy. When we came home, dear son was obsessed with the doll. Which is fine. We're not bothered. He can play with what he wants. We're very much for him playing with dolls and his sister's things. However, I was on a video call with my mum, who isn't bothered about what they play with. My son was showing her the doll. Mum's husband walked past and sees my son has a doll and pipes up with, "What are you playing with dolls for? You're a boy. Boys don't play with dolls. I think that belongs to your sister." He said it in quite a stern way. Son since hasn't touched the doll. My husband is quite unhappy with him, and I feel like I should be too. Am I being unreasonable to think he has no place to talk to my child like that?
Hell yeah, man. The fuck? You pissed right off, mate. Don't talk.
You got a great selection today,
Oh,
Matt.
mate,
Like, just
fucking
infuriating
dicks.
fucking posts.
Like, dick of the week. Like, let's pick them out.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
One thing I noticed, I mentioned this to the guys in the little bit where we chat before we start recording, that the board this week seems full of a lot more complaints than normal. Sometimes like the posts on here are quite jovial or light-hearted, and I think it's sort of this home straight before Christmas. It's just gotten everyone het up a little bit. I think that there's probably a lot of people that just want the weekend to be here, and I know a lot of people this weekend, that's when their Christmas break starts, and so I think a lot of us are just waiting for that to come through. And am I being unreasonable is reflecting some of those frustrations, but I've saved a more jovial post to last.
Yes. Is it a Karen?
So no, it's not a Karen. It's very quick and very to the point and very light-hearted. So the poster is called Petit Mum, as in petty as in French for small. And the post title is Pigs in Blankets. Am I being unreasonable to think they are overrated? I just don't get all the fuss and hype over a greasy little sausage wrapped in a scrappy piece of bacon. I would much rather have an extra turkey on my plate instead, and a whole extra turkey. None of my family like them either. Are we unusual, or are there others out there who agree?
I find them greasy as shit. I don't really like pigs and
that's
blankets.
because you're getting store-bought ones. You need to make your own.
Yeah,
Really?
no, it's still greasy as shit, even when I made my own. Like,
Unless you go for like a I don't know, one from like Marks and Spencer's or Waitrose or something like that. The ones that you pick up from Tesco's and Sainsbury's, I've always found to be pretty mediocre. They are. They're like cardboardy, and the bacon is pretty greasy and slimy.
Do you
They
like them,
are
Matt, by the
generally mediocre.
I think it's when it's on a plate with other stuff, then it's a nice little salty treat. So if you're having turkey, which turkey is frankly a bit shit.
yeah, it is
so
a shit bird.
And then if you got a bit of pig and blanket on there, to add a bit of stuffing, bit of Yorkshire pudding, roast potato, it works all together. Roast potato, what the hell am I?
Potato, mate. Yeah, innit, don't like.
It's
Karen, innit?
It's a nice little treat on the plate. But if you had I know that a lot of places like Pret and Eat and places like that, they do them in bowls, so you get bowls of pigs in blankets this time of year. I've got no time for that. I don't need that. They try and put pigs and blankets in everything these days. Like, you can buy pigs and blankets sandwiches. There's no need. Just get a bacon sandwich or a sausage sandwich. Stop fucking around.
Yeah, agreed. Stop fucking. And to be honest, I it's just so greasy. I really find them so greasy. Like, I'm not a big fan of bacon as well, to be honest. I know this is like really going against. I'm not a big fan of bacon. Sausages are alright, but bacon, it's too salty, man. Not a big fan. So I agree. She's not being unreasonable.
I tend to go for unsmoked bacon these days, which is less salty.
Yeah, good point. But still, ugh.
Yeah, when I recently switched smoked bacon for unsmoked bacon, I realised I'm getting old.
Oh yeah, God.
Yeah. All right.
Your £80 slippers and your unsmoked bacon, you twat.
Indeed, I am a huge twat. So, on that note, we're going to round up this show. And so, thank you very much for joining us today. If you have any questions, feedback, comments, or general abuse, please email us. You can do so by dropping us a message to overlyhonestdads@gmail.com. That is overlyhonestdads@gmail.com. We have an Instagram account where John is starting to develop original content, OC memes, for which other parenting sites might start to steal, which would be going full circle, because for the first however many posts we were just stealing from elsewhere. So
yeah, pretty much.
It's the circle of life. But yeah, if you want to see some of John's original content, head over to our Instagram page. If you want to send us a tweet that we probably won't see for a while, then feel free to tweet at us. We're at Overly Honest Dads. We also are on YouTube. So please do get in touch. Please rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. Please subscribe. And if you know of anyone who is a parent or a parent-to-be who might benefit from listening to us three chuckleheads chat shit, then please do recommend our show to anyone you know. That is about it. So I am going to thank Magnus and John. Thank you, guys.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, the listeners. Just to say, we are going to be continuing to post through the festive period. We're going to have another episode for you next Wednesday, and then which will be the 23rd, and then we're going to have our now annual quiz episode going out on the 30th. Now, we had a quiz episode that went up earlier this year. I think it went up in the summer. We actually recorded it on the 29th of December last year, and so but because we weren't posting them as we recorded them back then, they went out on a non-festive time of year. But I'm going to be setting these guys a quiz, and it'll be a little bit looser than what we usually do, maybe a little bit drunker. And I imagine John will drop a few C bombs because we're going to probably relax.
We didn't say the C word.
That's
today.
fine. You don't need to ruin it now. Don't ruin it now.
That's impressive. No, I won't.
We did well. Congratulations. So yeah, we're coming in your ears throughout the festive period. So look forward to that. And thank you again for listening. We love you. We appreciate you. I've been Matt. We'll see you again soon. Bye.
Cunt.
No!